Good morning, grade 10. We are now in the last part of the module 1, weeks 1 to 2. We need to take this little by little simply because this module is quite long and I want you to learn out of it. I want quality rather than quantity. You know me already, right? We actually stopped last meeting with the boundaries, okay? There are three types of plate boundaries. Again, they are based on relative movement of tectonic plates related to each other, okay? In relation to each other. These are divergent, okay? Divergent, convergent, and transform boundaries or plate boundaries, okay? Again, divergent occurs when two tectonic plates move away from each other. They're actually pulling each other, okay? Once they pull each other, they create what? These divergent boundaries. Lava came out, yes, from the center of the ridge and eventually solidifies into basalt. Okay. This effectively produces new oceanic plates. As the oceanic plates or the plates move apart in the process of seafloor spreading. This is how your seafloor actually spreads. Okay, until now it is still spreading. Okay. As the plates pull apart, the lithosphere cracks, producing small faults. The slips along these faults apparently cause the earthquake. Again, earthquake is always associated. I think I've discussed this one in the lower years. That earthquake is always associated with this plate tectonics movement or tectonic plates movement, and of course volcanic eruption. If there is a volcanic eruption, tendency is there is also a movement of plates. That is the reason behind. The slips along these faults are primarily caused of earthquakes in divergent boundaries. The most prominent mid-ocean ridge, which is located at the Atlantic Ocean, is called the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. This ridge are actually created through divergent boundaries. They're actually pulling. The plates are actually pulling with each other. This is where South American plate and the North American plate diverge from the African plate and Eurasian plate, respectively. Okay, this is how your Pangea. You're familiar with Pangea, right? Are you still with me? Are you still with me? Grade 10?
Yes.
Okay.
That's right.
You're familiar with your Pangea, right? This is how your Pangea actually what broken apart because of this divergent boundaries. Okay. Okay, this is the divergent boundary. If you're looking at it, okay, if you're going to see it, they're actually pulling, the plates are actually pulling with each other, away from each other, and created a crack. Okay, these cracks will actually make your seafloor spread. At the same time, it will actually create rift valleys. Okay, convergent boundary. Okay, convergent boundary is when two plates move towards each other. Okay, they move towards each other when the interacting plates are both oceanic. Okay, the denser plate will sink. Okay, if these two plates are oceanic plates, one will actually sink. Okay, the denser plate will sink beneath the lighter one and heads back to the mantle. Okay, when one is oceanic plate and the other is continental, the oceanic plate sinks below the less dense continental plate. This process is called subduction. Okay, subduction, meaning to say that the denser plate will actually move below the other plate. So this is called subduction and occurs in the boundary called subduction zone. Okay. In contrast, I will discuss it later. I will give you an illustration of what we are actually talking about. In contrast to divergent boundaries, plates are destroyed in convergent boundaries. Okay. Plates are destroyed in convergent boundaries because we actually bumped the plate. The plates now are bumping with each other. Okay. Subduction result in the formation of chain of volcanoes. Okay. Or volcanic arc. When the edges of the overriding plate, it is particularly called an island arc, of course, if it is formed from the subduction of the oceanic plate beneath oceanic plate. Okay. And continental volcanic arc if it is formed from subduction of oceanic plate beneath continental plate. Okay. Sir, what are you talking about? Remember that these plates could be oceanic and continental. Okay. Oceanic and continental. Ocean with water, with bodies of water, and continental bodies of land. Right. So if if the edge, if subduction result in the formation of chain of volcanoes, these are called volcanic arc, right? If the subduction of oceanic plate beneath another oceanic plate, it is island arc, okay? And if it is formed from the subduction of oceanic plate and continental plate, meaning to say that a body of land and a body of water, it will create actually continental volcanic arc, okay? Because it actually contains a body of land, right? Subduction zones are marked topographically by a long linear deep portion of the ocean floor called trench, hence your Marianas Trench, and geologically by volcanic arc on the overriding plate, right? When the colliding plates are both continental, okay, if they are both continental, neither plate subducts because they are so buoyant, okay? Instead of a subduction zone, a collision mountain belt is formed. Okay, because they're so buoyant, that the two plates, they cannot actually subduct. Okay? Instead of having subduction zone, they have actually collision mountains or collision mountain belts. You are now creating mountains. This process is responsible for the formation of vast mountain chains we know today. Right? This is how your mountains are actually produced. Hence, here is the illustration. Okay, can you see the illustration? All right. If you have question, please raise it in our class so that I can address your concerns. All right. So this is oceanic crust or oceanic plate and another oceanic plate. Okay. This is the subduction zone. Okay. So the other one is much denser. Therefore, it actually subducts. This is oceanic convergence. Okay. How about oceanic and continental? So bodies of land and bodies of water, this is your subduction zone, right? Since ocean is much denser than the continental crust or continental plate, tendency is the ocean will subduct. Okay. This is now oceanic continental convergence. Okay. How about continental and continental plate? If it is continental and continental plate, you're actually creating mountains. If it is much denser, then one will actually subduct. But most likely, they will create mountains, right? Your mountain belts. This is continental convergence, right? A transform plate boundary, this is the last one, the third type, is where two plates slide past each other, resembling a strike-slip fault. Remember the strike-slip fault? They actually slide. Thus, this type of boundary is referred to as big strike-slip fault or transform fault, right? In contrast to convergent and divergent boundaries, the crust is actually broken, but no materials are created nor destroyed because they're actually crushing with each other. Okay, because this is transformed, they're just passing with each other. Okay, they're crushing the the rocks beneath. Okay, this is now the transform fault. Okay, if you're going to look at it, it is actually sliding with each other. We just slide with each other. Okay, and I think we are done with module 1. What I want you to do now, again, I will let you see what is happening with your activities. I am really concerned with your activities. MD and Margie knows about it because we had undergone a lot, even challenges in the last school year. Correct, Margie and MD? Okay, I'm really concerned with this. Take note, activity 1 has only 3 students only submitted. We have Dimitri, Reina, and Holly. Activity number 2, we have only 2, Holly and MD. The rest didn't do their activity. Okay. By this time, I'll be giving you a chance to do your activity. Right? Again, are you still with me? All right. How about Dimitri? Dimitri?
Yes, sir.
All right. By this time, I'll be giving you a chance to do your activity. Right? The activity number 1 and 2. Okay? So we still have time. Mr. Okay. Yeah. Margie, your answer in modules. Correct, correct. Yeah, same as last year. Yes, yes. I understand. But the rest, by the way, Margie, you need to do the performance task if in case, right? Margie, the performance tasks is actually for offline and online students. Okay, because I cannot actually, this is the way I grade you with your performance task. It is always based on outputs, right? I think that'll do it for today, class. I'll be giving you a time to answer your activity 1 and 2. I didn't actually put activity number 3 then, since a lot of you didn't answer yet activities 1 and 2, right? I think that will be all for today, class. We discussed a lot. Thank you for coming. Thank you for participating. Have a nice day, grade 10.
Thank you, sir.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye.
Reina,
Thank you,
bye-bye.
sir.
Take care.